who walks the stair without a care and makes the happiest sound. Bounce up and down just like a clown. Everyone knows it's Slinky, the best present yet to give or get, the favorite all over town. The hit of the day when you're ready to play. Everyone knows it's Slinky, it's Slinky, it's Slinky. For fun, it's the best of the toys. It's Slinky, the favorite of girls and boys. It's Slinky, for fun, it's the best of the toys. It's Slinky, the favorite of girls and boys. Everyone wants a Slinky.
Okay, here is our first podcast pediatrician short shot on toys. I'm Rob Walter.
And I'm Matt Gotthold. So, although you're listening and probably know how to get a hold of us, please share with your friends that we can be found on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Tuned In, and now also on YouTube, audio only. And please like us on Facebook, and please tell a friend about this podcast.
And go on to podcastpediatricians.com and sign up to get special bonus material and check out some weird pictures and other stuff on the website.
Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. There's just nothing like them anywhere around. Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down.
So, Matt, we're getting into the cold and flu season. The AAP issued its new policy on infection prevention and control in pediatric ambulatory settings, also known as our offices. Of course, it mentions the most important strategies to prevent infection, which is good hand hygiene and getting all children immunized. But most of the publicity from this report came from their recommendation that kids bring their own toys to the office and then bring them back home again. So, no toys ever in the office. You have toys in your office, Matt?
You know, we used to have toys in the office. We used to have them out front, and I can distinctly remember some of my nurses spending their late afternoons, early evenings washing these things off every day because that's the rule we had created. They had to be washed off at the end of a day before they got represented to the waiting rooms. And frankly, over the years, we've gone pretty much strictly to books, which I hope has there are fewer opportunities to share nasty things, but I'm not sure that that's true.
And us too, mm-hmm. And we actually don't have a lot of kids' books in the waiting room. We keep them back in the offices, but I have to say we're probably not wiping down those kids' books as well as we should.
At least one of my partners still will use toys intermittently, but she really uses them in specific settings and kind of keeps them in the back. And so, and has good regulation over that. But no, we have definitely changed our tack on toys.
And, we also have a well side and a sick side for the waiting room, which the parents really like. But honestly, there's always some coughing, sniffling toddler on the well side. Or the Good magazines, you're on the sick side, you have to run over and get it. And by Good magazine, I don't mean Fit Pregnancy.
Yes. Do they send you like 40 pounds of Fit Pregnancy magazines? I know.
And I gotta say, I've never been pregnant, but you look at some of the women on the cover of Fit Pregnancy, it's like they look like what a typical person would be when they're pregnant. I don't think it probably adds to self-esteem to see these models who are pregnant.
I'll tell you what, on my best day as a self-proclaimed virile, teenager, I was never that fit. as those women as the pregnant women on the cover. Yeah.
And so another thing it made me think of, Matt, do you give out any prizes or things at the end of your visit?
It's crazy, but inevitably kids will say, like, do I get my lollipop now? And we have never, ever given out lollipops.
I had someone do that this week. Like, is there a lollipop? I'm like, no, I've never given out lollipops.
We do, however, give out stickers, and we're pretty freewheeling with those. I know you guys, I think you told me have backed off on that.
So sad. We love the stickers, and I love picking them out.
Yeah.
But our landlord, which is the same as you, but I guess our patients started putting the stickers up on the walls, on the vending machines. They're like, you got to get stopped with the stickers. So we now give out decorative pencils.
Is that a reflection of your patient population?
Maybe. We give out decorative pencils and erasers now.
Oh, check you out.
Yes.
Stickers are easy because, number one, they're really inexpensive. And number two, you can always up the ante for a child. Like, and because you're 3, you get 3 stickers today. And their eyes bug out and they start like hyperventilating and stuff. It's great.
And they laugh at the 2-year-old sister who gets only 2. That works.
True.
So all this toy talk brings us to the core of this segment, which is that the National Toy Hall of Fame will be announcing its 2017 Hall of Fame class later this week. The National Toy Hall of Fame is in the Strong in Rochester, New York, and was established in 1998 and recognizes toys that have inspired creative play and enjoyed popularity over a sustained period. And each year, This prestigious hall inducts new honorees. Anyone can nominate a toy to the National Toy Hall of Fame. Final selections are made on the advice of historians, educators, and other individuals who exemplify learning, creativity, and discovery through their lives and careers. Obviously, not us. No. Their selection criteria, I think this is interesting because we're going to talk about all the toys. Their selection criteria is it's got to have an icon status, widely recognized and respected and remembered, longevity. It can't just be a passing fad. It's got to be popular over multiple generations. It's got to foster discovery and learning and creativity through play and innovation. The toy should profoundly change play and toy design. Now, if a toy does that but doesn't meet the other criteria, it still can be included in the Toy Hall of Fame. So, Matthew, we're going to go over all the toys in the Hall of Fame and then follow with the nominated toys for 2017 and get our input.
Gonna run the list here, huh?
But first, so these toys, as you'll see, are not all toys that are meant to stimulate your brain all the time. There's fun toys, but have you ever heard of Scratch?
Tell me what it is.
So I never heard of it. It's a simplified free coding platform for kids created by MIT, by Michael Resnick. Over 200 million people using it, mostly 8 to 16-year-olds, half of them girls, and they invent games and stories and build things. It's the 19th most popular coding language in the world. And I read something about the inventor. He really is kind of cutting edge about having kids play for fun and also using their brains. And I think you can hear a lot more.
I'm not buying that as a toy, though. Come on.
No, I'm just saying, have you ever heard of Scratch? It's something that kids can do.
Is that on the list?
No, it's not. I just said, have you ever heard of Scratch?
Oh, you're just making idle conversation.
I'm making idle conversation. All right, so we're going to get to the 1998 inaugural class of 12s. I mean, this is the biggie. So this makes me think of the 1936 first Cooperstown Hall of Fame with Ty Cobb, Walter Johnson, Christy Mathewson, Honus Wagner, and the Babe Ruth. All right, so here are the 12.
Did you say Christy Mathewson? He was my favorite.
Christy Mathewson.
Unfortunately, I found out later that he died on the day I was born, but not the same year. It was a bummer.
I'm sorry. The first one, which
sorry, Christy.
I'm so glad this is the first one that came out. The first one is the teddy bear, which is named after Teddy Roosevelt. We mostly know that story, but I didn't know till this weekend when Matt and I got to see the Yankees lose at pool at his house, which is great. But I didn't know that Matt is such a collector of figurines. What are they called, Matt? He went about how terrible Beanie Babies was. He's got hundreds of these figurines of all different furry figurines of all different shapes of sizes. And then he says, well, it's my wife that's mostly doing it, but I don't buy that. He seemed to really love these figurines. What are they called? They're German.
I want to make this abundantly clear.
They're German. What are they called?
I have nothing to do with these
what are they
things.
Called?
They're hunkered down in my basement because my children were given them by my brother-in-law and my sisters-in-law. They're called Stife animals. I had no idea what they were until I married my wife. I still try to completely divorce myself from the whole idea of them, and that's all I have to say on this.
He's wearing a Stife hat. He wears Stife sweatshirts. That's all I'm saying. Okay,
I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it the right way.
Teddy bears, number one, or the first one, no particular order. The second is Play-Doh.
Good
I think we got to go with that. Tastes pretty good, too. Occasionally on a lunchtime, a little Play-Doh.
I was more of an Elmer's glue guy when it came to condiments.
That explains it. Third one, marbles. I think that's before our time. What do they call the marbles?
Oh, well, you have the one that you hold in your hand.
The bigger one.
The bigger one that helps
that
you shoot.
The shooters.
Yep.
And they have like different patterns inside.
Yeah, they're beautiful. I mean, some
beautiful.
of them are really artwork, but I went through a very brief marble phase. How about you?
I did not go through a marble phase. So next one, Barbie, classic. And Ken did not make the list, but
did your
Barbie
daughter have
did.
a Barbie?
I think she did, but I got to admit, I have a Barbie. Someone gave me a Northwestern Barbie cheerleader that I have in the original packing that I keep in my office because it's Northwestern.
And you gave me grief about Stife animals.
I did. Although I have to say, it's another discussion, but I never really got cheerleading. And if you are a girl and is a good athlete, then play a sport, maybe competitive cheerleading. But I always thought, well, if you're a really good cheerleader, why don't you just do a sport?
You better watch it, buddy.
I know. There's a lot of cheerleaders out there who will get mad. Okay, Crayola crayons. We both talked about our love of Crayola crayons and the new color this year. Monopoly. Are you a Monopoly guy?
To a point. I mean, the tedium kicks in after the third or fourth hour.
No, I'm not a Monopoly guy. Erector sets?
Nah.
Me neither. Etch-a-Sketch?
Yeah.
I like Etch-a-Sketch, though. Some people are like, amazing. I was never that good at it, but it's fun.
No, I really liked trying to make the line diagonal. Like that it had to be just enough here and just enough there.
Frisbee?
Not a big Frisbee guy.
People know the story.
Yeah.
It started in college. I played Ultimate Frisbee some.
Did you?
I'm not a huge Frisbee guy.
Doesn't surprise me.
Hula hoop? That's a cool game. I remember that growing up.
All these are pretty
Lego?
classic. Lego, absolutely.
Are you a Lego guy?
I'm a Lego guy up to the point where everything became Lego. And now pretty much for me it's lost its luster, although I know it's a huge part of a lot of the kids' lives in my practice.
It really is, and it's really great. I've never been a big Lego person, but it's a really great toy and deserves to be on the inaugural class.
You bet.
And the last Tinker Toys.
I had Tinker Toys.
Me too.
I liked Tinker
Me
Toys.
too.
They were kind of like wooden erector sets.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Those circles,
but not
and
quite as
poles.
mechanic-y. Like I figured I could slip in with a Tinker Toy because I didn't know anything about like mechanics and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, now we're going to get to the second inaugural from 1999, and I got to mention the baseball. So in baseball, the second class was Tris Speaker, Nap Lejo, I don't know how to pronounce that name. Connie Mack.
Awesome. Philly.
50 years, Philadelphia A's. The most wins ever in baseball history. The most losses ever in baseball history. He had a record of under 500. He wasn't even a winning manager. And John McGraw of the New York Giants, Cy Young of the Cy Young Award. George Wright, who starred at shortstop for the first baseball team, the Cincinnati Red Stockings. So the 1999 second toy class was Duncan Yo-Yo. Were you a yo-yo guy?
I had a phase.
I had a phase too. I could make it sleep. I could walk the dog a little bit.
They're the only ones I could do.
The Viewmaster?
I could do Rock the Baby though. Could you do Rock the Baby?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
maybe
very
not.
briefly.
Viewmasters? Remember the Viewmasters? Those were cool. I don't know how it's a toy.
The rich
but
kids
had
had
the
them
National Park
in my neighborhood.
Radio Flyer wagons.
Oh,
Love them.
still
My kids
a
have
classic.
them.
Oh,
and you take
good
the
stuff.
wooden sides in and out. It was
The
great.
sleds were even better.
Okay, here's one you've already mentioned in the constipation episodes. The Lincoln Log.
Oh yes.
And the last one in that group was roller skates. Remember that song?
Weak ankles, man.
I got a brand new pair of roller skates. You
Yes.
got a brand new. Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. All right.
They were big in the age of streaking, weren't they? Didn't you like streak on roller skates if you were kind of like, quirky in the 1970s or something?
I got to go with it in Jersey. Not where I lived.
You could probably add that to a lot of my sentences.
Okay, now we'll go a little quicker, but going down from there, we start with the year of 2000. The bicycle, and then Slinky. Slinky.
Overrated.
Slinky. It's more than average. Oh, I love my
does one
Slinky.
thing, man. It goes
Everyone
bloop.
loves a Slinky. You want to get a Slinky. The metal ones. Now you can only get the plastics ones, and those kind of suck. But
Well,
the
the
old
metal ones always got bent up anyway.
I know, but they were great. All right, Mr.
Overrated.
Mr. Potato Head,
Classic.
or Cliff Clavin, as he's known now. Mrs. Potato Head, or George's mom, did not make the list.
Nope.
Jump rope. And I gotta call it out. I've heard that you were quite the double dutcher back in the day in your red Crocs.
Don't believe the rumors.
Okay. And then jacks. You ever play jacks?
No.
I did. I had two sisters. We played jacks a little bit. All right. In 2001, Silly Putty. You like Silly Putty?
It was all right.
And the comics?
It didn't take great pictures of the comics when you pushed
I
it on
thought
there.
it was. And you did it too
Maybe
much.
I just wasn't using it the right
it
way.
got all, yeah. It didn't come with instructions for
No.
young Matt. Tonka trucks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They're top 5 for me.
Yep. 2002 Jigsaw Puzzles and Raggedy Ann. Not Andy. And 2003 Checkers.
Good
You
one.
got to put Checkers up there.
Yeah, I mean, but how old's Checkers? Like,
Billions years
Yeah,
old. Yeah,
exactly.
And then alphabet blocks for the little ones, toddlers.
Big
Those are
block
classic.
guy though. I
Yeah,
love
I like
blocks.
blocks.
Block. If you ask me about my favorite toys, that's definitely top 3 for me.
And that used to be a classic thing that were in doctors' offices, right? Your blocks.
It's a toy and a weapon.
for your brother. 2004 Scrabble. You a Scrabble guy?
Nah.
Me neither. And they have special Scrabble dictionaries.
It's funny. That's interesting because I think
It's
we
a
both
cool
like
game.
to read a lot.
Yes, just not Scrabble. No. G.I. Joe.
We just don't have a vocabulary.
Did you like G.I. Joe?
Again, a phase.
Yeah.
You know what I like most about it? When they came out with the one with the fuzzy hair. Like it was that. I used to rub it on my face to put myself to sleep. It's very, very soothing.
No comment. Rocking Horse?
Eh.
Yeah. All right, 2005 Jack in the Box. I love Jack in the Box. You remember the song was "Pop Goes a Weasel." Dun, 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 dun,
Oh, yeah.
dun, dun,
I do like
goes
the
a-
song, though.
And the kids used to love it. Each
It
time,
was
like,
pretty cool.
I liked it. All right, here's a classic game. My favorite game, Candyland. Oh, I always got gloppy. You don't like it, but. Where's the Chutes and
It was
Ladders?
okay.
How can you vote?
Chutes and Ladders.
How can you vote Candyland and not Chutes and Ladders?
Well, they're
It's
kind of the
okay.
same game, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Did
All right.
you have the problem with your brothers and sisters where they would be attracted to the pieces and like swipe them, even though they didn't know how to play the game, and then the game was shot? You know, like Candyland had like the cards with cool pictures
Right.
on them and stuff, and they'd
Right.
walk away with half of the stuff.
I was the kid who was swiping
you were
them
the
and walking
one.
away.
That's
so now
right.
I know their problem. All right, the next one, 2005, the cardboard box. I thought I was so
Always.
happy that was on there because I
Always the
used to make
cardboard
these
box.
huge things with my neighbor, cardboard box, and they put my pitch back on top, and then blankets, and you had this huge board.
This was back before they became passe and everybody got into a refrigerator every 5 years. You know, at
Right.
one point they were actually rare.
So 2006, Lionel Trains and the Easy Bake Oven. My daughter had Easy Bake Oven. It actually worked.
Did she? I had creepy crawlies. That's kind of close.
Those were great.
They were pretty
And you
cool.
could really burn yourself
You
on 'em.
could a good second
Oh,
degree
you know,
burn.
that should be on this list. Creepy crawlers. All right. 2007, Kites. Yeah, you can't argue
Good
with
one.
Kites.
Can't argue with
The
Kites.
Atari 2600 game system. I guess that was under that fourth category of something that was revolutionary. And if you say that's the first one for all the video games,
True.
it's hard to say no. And then Raggedy Andy. I mean,
Late to the party, Raggedy Andy.
Raggedy Ann was kind of a borderline choice. Raggedy Andy
Raggedy
just
Ann
is kind
really
of a
stretching
politically correct stretching. All right, 2008, skateboards, baby dolls. Okay. Do you have kids come in? My favorite baby doll is that you see this little come in with this old, like, naked baby doll with one eye that's like not working,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
turning the other way. And it's like
Classics.
their favorite thing.
Yeah, I love it when you ask a kid what their doll's name is or their stuffed animal, and if it's a dog, they're like, dog.
And you look at,
I had once a kid had like an armadillo. I said, "What's his name?" Armadillo.
and then like you make brief eye contact with the mom, and you're both
And she's shaking her head like, "Yes, indeed, this is true."
Okay. All right, 2009.
Do you remember? Wasn't there a Simpsons episode where Bart won a elephant, and he decided he was going to call it Stompy, and then the next pictures on the TV were this elephant stomping houses like all over his neighborhood. A classic.
2009, Nintendo Game Boy, I guess the handheld version, first one. Big Wheel. Great.
There's a classic.
And the ball, which seems like...
I've got to tell you, that's on my top 3 too.
Yep, okay. 2010, playing cards. You know, start gambling early. And the Game of Life. Were you a Game of Life person? Those little babies in the car? I wasn't really either. 2011, Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
And I was a Hot Wheels guy. Do you have the
I was
tracks?
pretty much a Hot Wheels
It had
guy.
the accelerator with batteries that it went through it would shoot out again.
I tried that one.
Oh,
yeah,
I loved Hot Wheels.
but like I said,
still
they were,
have my Hot Wheels.
They were much better as a disciplinary means for my younger brothers.
Doll houses.
Oh yeah,
You got it. Blankets. It's funny.
toy, really?
Toy. They think it. I don't get that. All right. 2012, Star Wars action figures.
you're a
Guess
much bigger
so.
Star Wars.
Yeah,
guy
but
than
I don't remember. I guess I was too old to maybe.
How about
use
Little
those.
People?
So
Didn't Little People make the cut? You know, those little people that you had like the
Well, way you're ahead of yourself.
Oh.
The other one, 2012, is Dominoes.
Okay.
I like playing Dominoes. It's
Yeah,
a fun
Domino's is
adult
pretty
game.
cool.
Yeah.
I mean, but some of the things that you're mentioning are things that have been around for like thousands of years, right?
Well, classics. So 2013, chess. I guess they
Absolutely.
put checkers in. They got to put chess. That's really kind of a
I
mine.
would have gone chess first on that one.
And Rubber Duck.
You're so fun.
Don't you love that song?
Rubber
Ducky, you're the one. You make bath time lots of fun.
Who's that,
Rubber
Ernie?
Ducky, I'm totally on with you.
Nice.
2014, Rubik's Cube.
Did you ever do that?
No, I didn't. Like I'd pick it up, but I never spent more than like 2
Yeah,
minutes. I'm
me
like,
either.
I don't want to do this. Too hard. Bubbles. That's a good one. That's classic. Who loves Bubbles? And then 2014, Little Green Army Men.
Oh, those were classics.
I know.
What was your favorite?
I'd have a favorite.
I like the flamethrower guy.
I don't even remember.
You know why?
that.
Because I
Yeah.
figured he could do the most damage to the other little green people if he really wanted to.
And I know maybe politically correct, war and such like
I
that.
know,
but
but
it was
still-
fun. I think they came back in Toy Story.
It let you use your imagination.
Yeah. And 2015, the Super Soaker, which was
yeah.
pretty much revolutionized
The water pistol?
the water pistol.
and the water bill.
And it also cleans out earwax, as we learned.
Nice.
And Twister, which I think more of a middle school thing. like when you're first like with parties.
How can I
with
nudge up
girls.
against
Right,
Janie?
exactly. 2016, last year, Dungeons and Dragons. There must have been like a whole crowd of
Were you
D&D guys.
Were you one of those guys?
I played it once.
I don't even
in
understand
medical school, and I
Really?
was a killer dwarf or something like that.
Yikes.
And it was weird, but it was. I could see the appeal of it. But
I mean, I know a guy who plays it
yeah.
and likes it a lot. So I mean,
yeah.
you know.
And I think it's
To each his own?
Yep, and use your imagination. It's great. The swing, swinging. Which, if you're going to play swing, you got to see how high you can go and fall off and maybe break your arm.
How far you can jump.
And then there's your little Fisher-Price little people.
They were great. By the way, little people rule, Weebles drool.
No, I was just going to say, I would have put in Hasbro's Play School Weebles. Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down.
Little people.
No.
All the way.
Totally disagree. Other ones, top of my head, I thought of Stratego. I loved Battling Tops.
Love Stratego. Love
And
Battling Tops.
Connect 4.
I didn't play that much.
Oh,
Connect
even
4.
now, Connect 4 is great. All right.
Were those your favorites?
No, I mean, ones that aren't there. I'm going to give you the nominees for 2017, but do you have any other ones you want to add to the list?
Yeah. Well, I'll just tell you what my favorites were. I was obsessed to the point where once my first set broke, I really saved up my money and bought a second set with Gunfight at OK Corral. I don't know if you remember this, but it was kind of a long plastic platform, and you had this essentially gun that you put. They were kind of like ball bearings. Like they would never get away from with this these days, right? Because somebody would swallow them and all kinds of complications. But you put it in there and you squeeze the trigger, and it went shooting across the surface of this. And if it touched the other guy's guy, he popped off of his platform. Ooh. It was really super cool. So I can remember that was one of the very best Christmas gifts I ever got. Gunfight at OK Corral.
A lot of war and violent themes.
There is a theme here.
Remember the cap guns? Remember that smell? I love that smell.
What a great smell. Yeah.
What a smell. And what was the Rock'em Sock'em Robots?
They were cool. Yeah.
Those are cool.
But you mentioned ball, and I've got to say, of all the toys I played with when I was younger, the really hard ball that you could throw against something and then catch with your baseball mitt, I spent probably months of my life throwing balls against steps and throw them against walls and catching them, like working on my infield
that orange
skills.
Ball?
Whatever, it didn't matter if it was orange, if it was
Spalding?
red.
Spalding?
It was just super hard.
Okay.
Almost it was baseball size. That's why it was good.
Well, there's a ball on the 2017 nominees. So here I'm going to give you the nominees, and you have to pick two that you think should go on to be in the Hall of Fame.
Gotcha.
The nominees are Clue, Magic 8-Ball, Matchbox Cars, My Little Pony. I think we talked about that was a vaginal foreign body that was mentioned this summer by Beth Schwartz, a My Little Pony. Paper airplanes, Pez candy dispensers, Play food, Risk, Sand, the kind that people can pee in and cats can go in, you get toxoplasmosis from, Transformers, Uno, and the Wiffle Ball.
Wiffle ball right away, number one for me. Yep.
Me too.
Yeah.
Ever play pickleball? It's embarrassing, but use a wiffle ball.
And we also played kind of the wiffle ball equivalent with a bouncy ball and used our regular baseball bats.
Oh.
Used to send it into the golf course.
Right. We used the wiffle ball plastic bat that came with the wiffle balls with a tennis ball. You couldn't kill people.
Do you remember when they went from being really thin to then the fat bats?
Yes.
And that was it lost its luster.
Everybody
after
can
that.
hit now.
Right.
It used to be those long, yellow, thin bats. You mean you had to really have some hand-eye coordination to do it.
Where I grew up, none of the kids I ran with belonged to the local swimming pool. Like none of us were in that situation. And so instead, on pretty much a daily basis, we used to play wiffle ball, but we'd go down to the same place we played baseball at nights, and we would turn the diamond around and we would make second base home plate so we could hit home runs all day long. And we actually kept stats. So Jody Minnick one year had 69 home runs, but that was pre-introduction of the big wide wiffle ball bat. Very impressive.
All right, so you said wiffle ball. What's your second?
Sand is useful, but you can't form it. So I'd have to go Clue, I think.
Gotcha. And I had to go Matchbox Cars because
but that's
I had my
the Hot Wheels equivalent.
Yeah, but Matchbox, I had a lot of. I still have my Matchbox too. So that's.
But until you mentioned it, I'll be honest with you, I didn't realize there was a difference.
Right. If you go online on www.toyhalloffame.org, there's an online poll, and the poll so far, number one is Matchbox, and number two is Pez candy dispensers.
That's
not
more
a
of
toy.
a. That's not a toy.
I
That's
know.
more of like a. I don't even know what. Like a cultural commentary.
So, listeners out there, you can go online to this thing and you can vote for this year's and nominate for the future. We'll be right back.
We have a new one, it's the Twister. Get you all twisted and tangled, it's the Twister. Spin the spinner and call the shop. Twister ties you up in a knot. That's Twister. Yeah, Twister.
Right foot blue,
Right foot blue.
left hand red.
Left hand.
That's it for toys and the Toy Hall of Fame. But we didn't even touch on my favorite, Yahtzee.
Yahtzee. That makes a
I
lot of
love
sense.
yelling Yahtzee.
Uh-huh.
Great.
I was kind of more of a Parcheesi guy.
Really?
Parcheesi and Chinese checkers.
I was going to mention Chinese checkers. As a kid, I always played Chinese checkers. I don't know. But
Well, they're checkers from China. There's nothing
exactly.
racist about
I
that.
guess. Are they really from China?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Are they really
I mean,
checkers?
chess is from China, right?
Yeah, I think so.
We had the Chinese checkers like it's a metal board. Was it kind of?
Oh, yeah.
Which reminds me, remember that
With the
other
little divots where
yes,
the marbles.
divots? Remember that? Did you have the electronic football game? That
I
used to
did, but,
vibrate.
you know,
It was the stupid
let me
and
tell you-
stupidest game. All the ones used to go in circles. It was stupid.
Talk about one of the biggest disappointments in my
Yes,
life. It was
yes.
definitely electric football because you expected to set them all up, even though it looked kind of cheesy and cheap to start with, and have the guys actually play football. And
Right.
they just like shook around and fell on their sides.
The other disappointment, sea monkeys. Do you remember? I bought. Do you remember the box said they were going to be talking to each other? They look like people, and they you
I
know.
never fell into that
They were
rabbit
just-
hole.
Oh, yeah, I did. And then we also didn't pick up. We're physicians. We didn't mention Operation.
Ah, yes.
Remove funny bone.
Endlessly frustrating. Yeah.
That noise. The game Guess Who? My kids like that.
Oh, I didn't know that one.
But then I remember as a kid, there was a game called Mystery Date, and it had a song like Mystery Date, and there was this door, and you went around and you had to turn the doorknob a certain amount of times and open up, and then different mystery dates would be. They'd be like the prom king, and you know.
Wow.
I don't know if it was some professional person. What you didn't want to get was the loser of the mystery date. Mousetrap, remember that?
I do.
Set it up? Yes, I was
Yep,
never
yep,
really
yep.
big. And Battleship?
Oh, Battleship's a classic. You know, I like any of those games where it was a little bit of luck, but also some skill. You know,
Right.
that's where. Yeah, that's why I like Parcheesi because you rolled the die and then you decide how to use those numbers and then you could like pick off through opposition. I like the game with
Right.
a little bit of vindictiveness to it.
And then
right?
Battleship has the added bonus of being about war.
You betcha.
And killing people on their battleship. They don't mention about all the people on the battleship that are dying.
Come on, man. This is just theoretical fun.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
I remember Hang on Harvey. Remember those like
The-
monkey things?
The little monkey guys.
Yes,
They
that
were
was
cool.
fun.
They were classics.
And Set is a more common thinking man's card game. And Apples to Apples, you ever played that? It's more recently.
No, my kids like apples
Yeah.
to apples, but I've never
It's
played
fun.
it. How about wasn't there one Booby Trap or something?
Booby
where,
Trap
where there was
with
a
the
spring?
marbles?
No. Oh no, then I'm misspeaking. There was one where there were little pieces that were round with a handle on them, and you put them in the spring-loaded thing, and you had to take them out one at a time until it like snapped
Wait,
shut
it was-
on you. Do you remember what I'm thinking
Yes,
about?
it
What
had
the
these
heck was
wooden
that
circle
called?
things,
Yes, wooden circle.
And then
things.
it would just
Mhm.
blow up in your face.
Oh yeah, it would snap on your fingers if you
All
weren't
right.
careful.
Hold on, we got to look that up.
Okay, go ahead. Say it. Say it.
I was wrong. Matt was right. The game with the spring-loaded wooden discs was called Booby Trap.
Dang right.
I was thinking of Kerplunk, which all these like pickup sticks and then the marbles on top that came down. Not
Don't mess with a history minor, dude.
Booby Trap in history majors at F&M. Not to be confused with Don't Break the Ice. But I think one of my favorite ones that I just thought of driving over here that I used to play with my kids was something called Don't Wake Daddy. Did you ever hear of that? I don't even remember the setup. It was some kind of a game where you had to go around.
Oh, wasn't
and-
there a bed that like
Yes,
the
it
guy
was a bed,
flipped up
and
from?
the guy would
We
flip
did
out
have
from
that. Yeah.
And so, you know, if you lost, like, wake up daddy, think like, what would happen if you wake up daddy? Like, where's mommy? Is daddy drunk? Is there some kind of domestic violence issue going on that
Right,
you
yeah,
could
it
not
was-
wake up daddy?
it was a little
in the middle of the day?
creepy,
It was
yeah.
very creepy and still being sold, by the way. Say goodnight, Matt.
Good night, Rob.
We'll be back with Nosebleeds for our next episode.
He's here! My mystery date!
Mystery Day.
Mystery Date, the thrilling new Milton Bradley game of romance and mystery date. Will you be ready for swimming or a dance? When you open the door, will your mystery date be a dream or a dud?
Oh.
Podcast Pediatricians Productions. All rights reserved.